Hello Internet, AdoptedMike here, and I was recently inspired by Linus from Linus Tech Tips when he did his video series of his server closet kind of remodel, and I thought to myself, well, I've got a kind of a networking and server closet here at my home, and it's kind of a disaster, so I thought that I could just film a little vlog style video for you guys showing my tear apart and put back together of my networking setup at home, and I thought it'd be kind of fun. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look in the closet and we'll see, you'll see exactly what I mean. And I'm not a big fan of a multi-part video, but this particular one is going to be a multi-part just because it's going to be a long one, going through what I have, and then paint, some I want to do some soundproofing, and then we'll go through the hardware, and then as I put it all back together. So it's going to be a 2, maybe a 3-part series. So anyway, that way it's not like 45 minutes long, but anyway, let's go ahead and I will show you my networking closet. Alright, so here we go. As you can see here, I guess I have quite the mess. At the top I've got a monitor there to check out the console or the onboard video that the server's output. Then we've got the switch there, and then this just general mess of cabling. In fact, I have a patch panel here even that's not even hooked into the media cabinet there on the left. Then we've got one server there. This is actually running a Windows operating system and a battery backup for that. And then further down we've got the FreeNAS server there with a battery backup for the FreeNAS server. There's an extra hard drive there in case one fails. There's 2 more down there in case I have a failure. But yeah, and then just some more miscellaneous stuff. In fact, there's a backup hard drive there. Yeah, this just really is unfortunately a mess. And then I've got that structured media enclosure by Leviton in there, which I'm not even hardly using really at the moment, because this would it would actually fit in there and lock down in those holes there. But then up top there's the which is the router right now and the modem from CenturyLink. And then also too at the top I have a wireless access point there from Ubiquiti. So yeah, there's quite the mess going on in there. And then even in fact, now that I think about it, on the very bottom there's a pfSense box that I built that I'm not even using. So this is just an absolute mess. And then as you can see here, we've got the paint. I mean, I threw this together, didn't even paint the walls in there. And way back there on the top, yep, you can see that that there is actual exhaust. So there's 220 millimeter fans that are pulling the exhaust, and it's actually going into the master closet, which isn't really that big of a deal, just to pull some heat out of there. But as you can see, this is unfortunately quite the mess. So anyway, to get started, I'll pull everything out of here and then we can take a better look. Alright, so now we can take a look. I've got the little rolly rack out. You can see what we're gonna work with here. We'll just tidy up those wires a little bit. I also need to finish punching a few of them down in the punch down panel. But anyway, if we kind of tilt over here, we can see what we've got going on. That top one is the Windows server. Right now I don't need 2 of them, but I just had 2 of them. This one was one of my original ones, and then I added the FreeNAS down there later. But anyway, this one here has got a RAID 10 with 4 2 terabyte NAS drives, and a RAID 1 with 2 3 terabyte NAS drives. The 4 terabyte has, the 4 terabyte array has miscellaneous data, and then the 3 terabyte array has it's basically just Steam apps, that folder. I pull everything off the network and or just use it as a backup as well too. And then as far as the FreeNAS system goes down there, that's using a it's the ASRock ITX board that has the built-in Xeon processor. I don't know that it's actually a Xeon. I don't think it is, but anyway, it's the server grade one, and it's got 32 gigs of ECC RAM, and that one is running a RAID Z2, which is the RAID 6 equivalent, so you could lose 2 drives. And it's running, see, there's 6 2 terabyte drives in that one running that array, and I think I'm getting about 7 point something gigabytes of data storage out of the 12 terabytes out of the 12 terabytes available. I've got about 7.5 or so, I think, maybe almost 8 usable. And then so there's a KVM switch that plugs into both of those, and that goes up to the top of here. So we're using the KVM and then the monitor that I actually have flipped upside down right now. But anyways, that's what I use to control the consoles as well too. And then you can see the back side of the UPSs. And then as far as somewhere on here, there's a power supply to that runs those fans. That's in the back there. Right now it's unplugged there, but there's a power supply that plugs into that little Molex. This is just essentially just a Molex adapter that splits out to 220 millimeter 3-pin fans. And now I'm going to take a closer look at the media enclosure. How I have this going is it goes underneath the house with the network cabling. As you can see, there's some conduit pieces along the side and on the bottom. So I just feed the networking wire through there, and it goes down into the crawl space and then works its way around the house, and then obviously comes back here to the patch panel, which needs to be worked on. I've got random cords that just plugged into the switch, but we'll get that all tied down to a patch panel into there, so at least it makes a little more sense. And I'm probably even going to mount the switch differently as well too. I'll probably mount it up there, I think, rather than on the rack. That way I can, because right now to slide the rack out I have to disconnect everything basically, and there's a mess of wires on the floor right there because of everything had to be disconnected. So it actually kind of makes sense to mount the switch up there, and then I won't have nearly the cable issue when I do remove this rack, for example cleaning or replacing a fail hard drive or something like that. But anyway, now we're gonna go ahead and do some patch cable management. Alright, so for the setup here, I'm just going to standard punch down there, and got my punch down tool and some clippers to clip the ends off, and to get everything all punched down to where we can get it all nice and tidy. Pretty simple doing this. I'm not going to shoot the video on it just because I don't have the right, I need a better angle. It'd be pretty difficult to actually do the work while filming, but there's probably 100 videos on YouTube that'll go through how to do or how to punch down correctly, and this might not even be correctly, but I'm trying to make it as neat as possible. You know, I'm definitely not a pro at this, but definitely an amateur, but I can make do. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all these loose ends, so to speak, tied up. Okay, so now we've got the patch panel all set up, and it is wired and everything is looking good. I've used my old friend the zip tie, and we've gotten the cable management pretty well done up good, and I've got it all taped off, and we're ready for paint. Alright, awesome. So we are all painted and looking pretty good. So we're good there. I've got to install some baseboard and some down there, so just to cover up the gap between where the flooring ends. And then also I'm going to put some of this sound deadening foam up near the ceiling by just to help kill the fan noise in here. So I'll just strategically place some of these panels around, and I've got some corner ones coming as well too, to kill the noise. And how this works down here, so this plugs into the battery backup, and then it converts into Romex, which then comes up to this plug in there. That way I can have my modem and switch on battery backup through that outlet. So that's all that does. It's just there's a wire that goes between here and there, and just in case I ever wanted to enclose this, because I do have a door for it, then I can at least put the door on and still have power without having to run wires inside of it. So now let's move on, and I'm going to figure out a way to mount the switch actually up in this area. I have a couple of ideas. The switch is a fanned switch, so I need to keep the back of it open so it can exhaust air, and I'm thinking about actually mounting it on the wall this way, pushing the air upward, and then running my network cables kind of down, around, and then into the patch panel. But I'll play with it, figure out how it works, and then we'll come back when it's done. Okay, so that's not the most elegant solution to have the switch that way, but it does get the exhaust going up and away, and anyway, I can still see the port activity lights. I just kind of rigged those together and then bolted the ears to the switch to those L brackets, and now I kind of have it just kind of wired for testing purposes. I'll clean it up later. I just want to make sure that all my networking jacks around the house are working properly, and then if they are, then I can proceed to cleaning all of this crap up. Okay, so now I've got everything in there kind of the way it's going to be going. I don't know that I'm going to change it too much. I really liked having the foam there position. It's made the room considerably quieter, being that I've got that exhaust fan running at full bore, and also the switch there is running at full bore as well to the fan. So it definitely keeps it a lot quieter, and when I close the door I really can't even hear it at all unless I'm trying to. And I also put a couple of pieces of foam on the door as well too, in order to help with the sound dampening as when the door is closed. So anyway, that is a look there. Actually, this is just temporary. I have a network wire to the server just so it can keep updated. Dropbox runs on there for me, so at least it'll keep my Dropbox updated on my home network. So anyway, like I said, this is about where it's going to be for a while. I was pretty happy with the results of everything. So this will conclude part one, which is the remodel of the closet, I guess is probably the best way to put it. And anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Leave any comments below of ideas or things you would do differently, because it definitely helps sometimes to get the feedback in order to I can make my network better by listening to your guys' feedback. But anyway, as always, thank you for watching.